I got something for you. You wanna come see your surprise? Come on, let's go.
I got you.
The ignorance of people never fails to astound me sometimes. So I was watching this video by this YouTuber called Coco Sassy. She uploaded a short about her beautiful husky and her giving the creature a cute little bath. And she says, when you have a husky and you live in Texas. And I was amazed at the comments. Most were positive, and I also left a comment talking about how when I move down south that I'll do that for my Shiba because she loves snow. I got a whole bunch of people judging me and the creator, saying that we were selfish and you shouldn't take a dog that was bred for the winter to a hot climate. While I agree to some point at the sentiment, because there are a lot of people who get breeds of dogs and don't research the dogs before they get them, however, you have these wonderful little citizens who are the pet polices. And they ended up telling me off in the comments about my dog, which, by the way, if you research Shiba Inu, a Japanese dingo or Japanese hunting dog, you will see that these dogs were bred specifically to withstand any climate. Japan has seasons. It has varying temperatures. This is why these dogs shed their coat in the summer and why they grow a thick coat in the winter. Just because a dog can thrive in the winter conditions doesn't mean that they're not able to survive in summer conditions. It is possible that there are breeds that are better adapted to the winter, but it doesn't mean that they cannot survive in summer conditions at all. If the dog didn't have the ability to shed its coat in the summer, then you would say that that dog is only built for the winter. Many animals, wild animals included and domestic animals, have adapted to shed their coat in the summer so they don't overheat and grow a thicker coat in the winter. If people would just look that up, they would see that instead of looking like idiots. Huskies, on top of that, yes, are bred to thrive in cold conditions and run long distances. But they also shed their coat in summer conditions or warmer climates. Does it mean that you should carry them to a desert area or places like Nevada and leave them outside for hours on end in the sun? No. Does it also mean that you should carry them to a frigid area and leave them outside in the snow for hours on end? No. I find it also very insensitive and quite dumb, to be honest, when people make these blanket judgments on pet owners. There are some pet owners that are families of someone who's in the military, who probably joined the military later, or have to be stationed somewhere else, and they got a husky or a winterish dog, and they have to either move down south for that reason, for job reasons, for health reasons, for family reasons. What are they supposed to fucking do? Tell their husky, you know what? Even though you can survive in a hotter climate, you're a fluffy dog. So since you're more suited for the winter, deuces, bitch. We're gonna get a new dog that's suited for the summer and leave your ass here. What the fuck kind of sentiment is that? By you putting that out there and telling people and making them feel ashamed because they have a husky and they live in somewhere like Texas, when it's a video where they're actually making accommodations for the dog, instead of seeing that and being like, wow, okay, at least they're taking care of the breed. You shamed them and add to the problem of people abandoning their dogs. If you have a winter coat dog, you're going to have to make more accommodations. Or if you want them to keep their full coat and to cut down on shedding, you're going to have to make sure that you keep your house air conditioned most of the time. A lot of these people also don't research the breeds themselves before condemning owners about not researching the breeds. Because if they did, they would see that a Shiba Inu, my specific dog breed, can live in all climates. Human beings are not formatted for winter. We are not by nature wintry creatures. We don't have long coats either. But yet we live in wintry conditions, and we make accommodations for us. I bet these are the same people that probably have reptiles that literally evolved to live in the desert, and they have them in cages with hot lamps. I bet these are the same people who have fish that are supposed to live in lakes and oceans, but they have them in little glass boxes and aquariums. I bet these are the same people that probably have cats, creatures that love to roam and hunt, that probably keep them locked up in the houses for all of their lives since they were kittens and never let them see outside, except for when they have to put them in a crate to carry them to the vet. I bet these are probably the same people that that have birds and either clip their wings or keep them in a cage. And those birds will never see the sky. I bet these are also probably the same people that have terriers and summer breed dogs that are bred for a specific role that their breed was bred for, but they don't ever allow that dog to perform the work or tasks that those breeds were bred for. What fucking hypocrites. I bet these are also probably some of the people who think that their dog should be vegan, or have breeds like Pomeranians or Chihuahuas that are natural barkers to alert you of danger and put shock collars on them. I bet some of these individuals don't even know how to speak dog, don't even know how to discipline their dogs or communicate with their dogs in order to make their dogs functional creatures and happy social animals. Now, the reason I brought up all that stuff with the reptiles and the desert creatures and exotic animals and breeds of dogs from different parts of the world that these entitled American people have in their homes is not to judge the owners that do have these animals and make provisions for them. It's to point out the hypocrisy that some of these same people are putting on this woman for having a husky, where in the video she's literally making an ice bath for her dog so he can have a treat. I hate when people come out and try to police other people and they don't know shit about dogs or breeds. Before you open your mouth or start typing because you feel like you're going on some fucking crusade, why don't you look up the breeds? You find that a lot of these breeds that have thicker coats, with the exception of some, are bred to thrive in winter conditions, but that does not mean that they cannot survive in hot conditions. This is why they shed. You do understand that, right? They shed their coat so they don't overheat in the summer. Kind of like what foxes do, and horses and cows and a plethora of other animals. I'm sorry I sound like real bitey, but that's how those people came off. And if they had been a little bit more civil and were like, it's nice that this girl is doing this, but guys, remember to research before you get animals. These dogs do better in the winter. Instead of actually looking up the fucking dog, especially Siberian Huskies that were bred here, and seeing that they're better adapted for this climate, they start opening their mouths because it's easier for someone to be high and mighty and look down on someone else. And if you go to those people's houses, you'll find that they are the biggest offenders when it comes to taking care of their animals. The ones who squawk the loudest are usually the ones who are probably more at fault for something that they're doing with their animals. So yes, I agree. Research a breed before you get it. If you're not an active person, don't get an energetic dog, and vice versa. If you're going to be living in a cold region, don't get a dog like a Saluki or a dog that cannot grow a long coat, or a hairless dog, obviously, unless you're going to wrap them up in blankets and socks and shoes. And just like you make accommodations for cats, reptiles, and birds, and other breeds of dogs that these same people own, make sure that you are making the right accommodations for the specific breed of animal that you're getting. Some of these same people have horses as well. Are their horses running free on 50 acres or more? A lot of them are not. Do I judge them for that? No, as long as you are meeting the requirements that that horse needs, giving them the exercise that they require as though they were running wild. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and be like, you shouldn't own any breed of dog or any animal that's domesticated if it's outside of the parameters. Do what you're going to do, just make sure that you're meeting those animals' needs. Don't get a lizard and then put it in the snow if it's not adapted to the snow. You're going to have to put in the work and the maintenance to keep that animal happy and how it thrives. Also, I don't know if these people don't consider this, but they see this one little clip of this person doing this for the dog and they judge the entire person. Did you ever consider that this girl probably lives in the northern part of Texas? And even if she lives in the southern part, a responsible owner is not going to leave their dog outside in the hot sun with a super thick coat without a way for them to cool down. The dog's going to shed that fur anyway. The dog has this built-in system where its body's like, it's too hot, let me shed all this fur, I don't need it. But when there's a heat wave, no human is going to sit outside, or if they love their animals, leave them outside in the fucking heat. So please consider that before you open up your mouths and look like fucking idiots.